We are back in the Guatemala city area after a little loop on the west side of the city. We were in the garage for the past 2 days. Nick was doing some maintenance but also preparing the car because things are going to change a bit. Why were you making sure everything was fine in the car? Hey, this is Next Meridian. We are Nick and Mathilde and we left everything behind to travel the world with our Land Rover Defender, Albatross. 3 years, 7 continents, 88 countries and just the road as a home. This week is a bit special. While we continue exploring Guatemala and meeting more amazing people, we are also getting ready for a special event. After 11 months on the road, something is about to change on the expedition. And we need to get ready for that. We explain everything in this episode, but to start with, we have one more cool adventure to complete. Welcome on the road for a new week in Guatemala, and we left you last week. We were arriving in Guatemala City. We were invited by Mario and his team for a trail of 2 days, and now we're getting the car ready. What are you doing, Nick?
Setting up the radio.
And here we have Mario gearing up his sweet Discovery, ready for the camp. Hi Mario!
Hi, how are you?
Good.
The weekend has started. There is 7 cars, 3 Land Rovers, 2 Jimneys, Suzuki, 1 Toyota,
What is
right here, and 1 Chevrolet.
Lidera Carlos. Sigan todos sigan.
And we also need to improve our Spanish on radio because we're not too bad at understanding people when we talk like in front of them, but on the radio is another level.
Sigan igual después del.
We were on the road. We followed our new friends on the remote trails of Guatemala. On the way, coffee plantations with very few villages and a lot of dense forest. We slalom endlessly in between 2 extinct volcanoes to make our way to the Pacific coast.
Very cool track though. Really in the middle of the tropical jungle like this, super dense. It's exactly what I would have thought of Guatemala off-road.
Is a bouncy road.
That was a long day.
Yeah.
Whew. Poor elbow, huh? I feel like it wasn't super hard, but For an overlanding trip, it's quite a lot.
Eventually, we make it to the other side of the volcanoes for the most rewarding treat ever. A swim in the warm waters of the Pacific at sunset on a black sand beach. A day on remote trails is nice, but the nicest part for us was really to get to meet all the other drivers from Guatemala. They gave us tons of advice for the rest of the adventure. Thank you for the adventure trail weeks, and thank you to everyone who participated to the trip. It was really awesome riding with you. The following days, we drive around the west of Guatemala. We visit the city of Antigua, the beautiful old capital of Guatemala. Did you know that Guatemala changed capital 3 times? Out of which twice were because of continuous earthquakes and volcanoes eruptions destroying the towns. We eventually landed on the shores of the Atitlan lake, a crystal blue alpine lake type surrounded by volcanoes. The ultimate place to stop for a bit. Over that time, we didn't film too much. We needed time to plan what's coming up next. But don't worry, I promise you, we will come back to this place. Our plans finalized, we needed to stop to one more place. What are we doing here? So many things happening. We've been driving for a few days around Antigua and in the entire area. We've been enjoying, visiting. Hello you. But we have one special project we need to get ready for. We will announce it just a bit later in the video. But we want the car to be all ready for that. We stopped because we had some maintenance to do on the Defender. This place is definitely the best place. I think those guys own half of the Defenders in Guatemala. Defender, 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 Defender skeleton. Another Defender, another Defender. 2 other here, and then another here. There's others in the back. Big one here, small one here, big one here, another one, another one. The Krause family Land Rover workshop is known across the continent. I'm not exaggerating. Bill, the father, started the garage after immigrating from Canada to Guatemala decades ago. And now Will and his sister Alicia, both national Canadians and Guatemalans, inherited from Bill's talent and run the workshop. We were told about this workshop already back in the USA, if you can imagine.
Okay, today we worked on multiple things. We had to clean the DPF filter, so that's the diesel particle filter. Now this thing, because we're doing a lot of small towns and going slow, it gets clogged. And when it gets clogged, you lose torque on first and second gear, which we've noticed. You can't delete it, you can deactivate it, but then back in Europe we would have to pay a lot of money to get a new one and a lot of money to get it installed. And until that's done, you can't drive it. So the other solution is to spend 5 hours cleaning it, maybe once a year, so it's not too bad. Next thing we did, which we really needed, is hidden down there, is the engine number. It's been years I've been waiting for the engine number. The reason why is because for a lot of the countries we're going to be going, like Australia, some in Central Asia, some in Asia, and some in Africa, they need the engine number so that they can validate your car going into the country. Finally, after 2 years, we found the number. I got a picture of it. I'm going to send it to Land Rover France and tell them, here's the new engine I have. Please update my engine number to my car number, so that when the authorities of the countries I go to check, everything is in rights. And the next job we're gonna do later is the brake line. So the white box over there, we're gonna flush out all the old brake line and put in the new ones, because we've noticed we had some air in our brakes, and so it must be time.
We said goodbye to the awesome Croix family. Thank you for hosting us and sharing your wisdom with us.
One more on the Wall of Fame!
Yay, Croix! And we are now ready. Want to know what's happening for the next 2 weeks? We are back in the Guatemala city area after a little loop on the west side of the city. We were in the garage for the past 2 days. Nick was doing some maintenance, but also preparing the car because things are going to change a bit. Why were you making sure everything was fine in the car?
I am going to go after tomorrow to Morocco for 2 weeks on a motorbike trip. I'm guiding I think 7 Americans and 1 European, or 2 Europeans, and around Morocco for about 10 days. Now, for those 10 days, Mathilde will be staying alone in Guatemala. That's why the car had to be ready, because we don't want any issues while I'm away, and on top of it, it's always good to have a healthy car.
Let's be honest, even though I learned a lot on mechanics, I'm still very confused about many things on the car. So Nick made sure I had absolutely no issue when he was away. After 11 months on the road together, we are thrilled of this unexpected opportunity for Nick. That will also give me time to do some solo exploration, which I love. But for that, I also need to become a bit more independent on the mechanics side. So this little experience is also very useful in that sense. Last day in Guatemala for Nicola. So this morning we're doing the briefing for me to know everything to check for the car, and then later today we're going to meet our patron Ana Laura, who invited us in Guatemala City. She lives here, so she's going to offer us a tour of the city for Nicola's last day. But first, mechanical briefing. Hey, head mechanic, I'm ready for the brief.
Okay, let's do it. First things first, Mathilde already knows everything. This is just for video's sake, but at the same time, just as a refresher.
Because I always need refreshers, I forget everything.
The first thing Mathilde is doing is checking the oil level. The car is flat, otherwise the test wouldn't work. And it's actually full, so that's fine. Cool. That's great.
Okay.
And the next is the coolant.
Coolant, Nick taught me that we cannot see through. First challenge is open the coolant thing. Not funny.
Okay.
Who closed that?
I did.
Oh. I'm going to close it.
Yeah.
So that I'm sure I can open it after. So Nick told me we cannot see through, so basically we have each of us a measurement with our finger. The level should be at the level of this bar, so me it's medium part of this finger. Then I go in and I'm at a bit more than medium part. Yeah, I think it's the same. And I touch the coolant, so you can see there's a drop on my finger.
Okay, perfect.
So we are good, that's the normal level.
Every 2 days we decided that we do this. People do it every day, others do it once a week, some people never do it. We do it every 2 days because we're confident with our car, and it takes literally a minute to check these things, so every 2-3 days, but every 2 days is good.
The third thing is we had an issue with our, how is it called? The intercooler?
Turbo to intercooler hose.
Turbo to intercooler hose. So we had to cut it at the place where we had a hole, and then we locked it again a bit upper, so we need to check that it's holding well, and that's the normal look of it. So far so good.
What else is there from in here?
From in here, nothing.
Okay, from in here
I mean many things, but for me nothing else, no?
Okay, so the next thing is to check the wheel arches if you see any oils. and then to check the 4 points under the chassis, which is the oil sump, the 2 axles front and back, the transfer case, and that's it. So if there's no oils coming out from those places, then you're set.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Mathilde going all the way in under.
I think it's good.
Okay, oil sump is good.
The filter as well. Nothing.
Okay, so that's done.
Yeah.
And then?
Yeah, then I need to empty this thing because there's a lot
Every day.
Yeah, there's a lot of dusty roads in Guatemala. So, sorry. Short me needs a help.
I already cleaned it yesterday.
Ah, you cleaned it yesterday. Okay, so it's just for the show. So we do that.
Tap it. Yeah. Perfect. So that one every day because the roads here are pretty dusty. There's a lot of trucks polluting and things. So we do this every day, every night, constantly.
It's like brushing the teeth of the car.
Exactly. Super important. That's it. So everything is done, and it takes 5 minutes, but it could save a lot of money or a lot of problems, and that's it. I think we got this.
And usually Nick does that, so even though I knew some of the aspects, I didn't know the detail of it, so now it's good, I'm capable of doing it. Okay.
Ready?
Thank you, Chief. Let's go to Guatemala City.
Cool, nice.
It might not be the most fascinating part of the trip, but these daily checks are what enabled us to avoid issues and potential problems.
We just arrived to Ana Laura's place, so she told us big yellow house with palm tree. Find it in Guatemala. But it's exciting. We're gonna meet Ana Laura right now, one of our Patreons.
You'd reckon we're pretty lucky to have a community of Patreons that is also present in Guatemala City. Ana Laura brought us around town, and just in a few minutes it felt like we always had been friends. Thank you, Ana, for welcoming us in your fascinating city and treating us like family. And of course, with Ana we did our usual flag ceremony, and she already knew the rule.
The hardest task you have is to make it straight. Yep.
Ana for Guatemala! And your shirt is matching your flag.
The color of the flag.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it. Oh, it has to be a little bit higher.
I don't know for you, but I'm catching my breath when I look at this. She knows. She owns a sticker company.
Yeah. I better do your own.
Awesome.
The bird in the middle, it's called Quetzal, and it's like the national bird.
Yeah, the green
I
one.
don't know if you saw that in Tikal,
No, we didn't see
but
it.
it's like a green small bird with a red chest,
Okay.
and then that's Laurel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Words?
Yeah, two swords, and that's from, I think that's from like victory of independence and
Okay.
blah, and that's the date of the independence.
Okay. So big elements are the bird, the date of the independence, the weapons, and the Okay. Cool. Welcome to Guatemala. And the tinted Guatemalan window. Yes, did you notice? Seeing everyone with tinted windows, we decided to go for it. Do you like it? You've never seen that? And just like that, the next day, it was time for Nick to go. It came so fast we were not sure we were really ready for that. After 11 months living in 2 square meters together, we were going to be separated for 2 weeks.
Bye, Coach. Take care. Bye, Mathilde. Take care. See you soon. Mwah.
Bye bye, Nico. Come back soon. And off he was, embarking on a crazy ride through the desert and mountains of Morocco. We will do a full episode on that when he comes back. In the meantime, you can count on me. I have a sweet program planned for this time in Guatemala. Okay, let's go. We're on the road without Nico in Guatemala, the ciudad of Guatemala, which is not an easy place to drive through, so for me it's always a challenge, but I'm happy. I'm going to pick up a good friend at the airport, and then we'll need to do without Nick for the next 2 weeks. I'm already missing him, but I'm kind of happy to be able to yeah, I travel a bit on my own and try stuff, so let's go!
How are you feeling? This is chaos.
I think now that we're here, we kind of like have to move forward.
I think in front of the truck is perfect.
That is it for this week. Next week I go drop Tom at the border with El Salvador, not without putting ourselves into crazy situations. And the main topic of next week's video is how is it to travel solo as a woman in Guatemala. I hope you will like it. See you next week. In the meantime, take care! Am I right?
Yep. You can come this direction more. Yeah.
Hola!
How are you feeling, Mathilde?
Not good. It's Tom's fault. If anything happens, it's Tom's fault.
Going through a tiny, skinny street.
Hola.